Hey, beautiful. So, um, behold, you are beautiful, my love. Behold, you are beautiful. Your eyes are doves behind your veil. Your hair is like a flock of goats leaping down the hills of Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of shorn ewes that have come up from the washing. All of them bear twins, and not one of them has lost its young. Your lips are like a scarlet thread, and your mouth is lovely. Your cheeks are like halves of a pomegranate behind your veil. Your neck is like the strong tower of David, built in the rows of stone. On it hangs 1,000 shields of, all of them shields of warriors. Your breasts are like two fawns, twins of a gazelle that graze among the lilies. Until the day breathes and the shadows flee, I'll go away to the mountain of myrrh and the hill of frankincense. You are altogether beautiful. Allah, there is no flaw in you. Song of Solomon 4, verses 1 through 7. If it had been anyone in this world, I'm glad it's you. I was ready to retire my search for love. I was ready to look forward outside of the warnings of Paul to not be unequally yoked. I was ready to give up because I thought that if there was someone else out there like you, that she wouldn't want me either. And after all, I kind of grew accustomed to not being wanted. Or at least the perception, the paranoia of believing that I was unwanted. I realized that I tended to shut people out because of my own selfishness. I was only looking out for myself by depriving others of a relationship with me in any capacity. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was this damaged. I subconsciously inflicted my perception of others not wanting me onto God and believed that somehow that He wouldn't want me either. Because I was used to loving an absent father, I somehow believed that because he was gone, that his absence reflected his heart for me. So to know your heart for me is solid. And seeing how you look at me, how you love me, I realized that if we are image bearers of God, that the way we love ought to reflect His heart for us. And because your heart reflects unto me the love of God, I know that it is only a fraction of how much He loves me. I guess the reason it's been so hard to have a heart for Him is because somewhere down the line I believe He didn't love me in the first place. But it wouldn't make any sense that He would answer my prayer of wanting to marry you by creating someone so beautiful and perfected in love as you to love me so beautifully and not love me Himself. I know now that my heart has been in chains and I kept a dam up against the lake of my emotions, knowing that if it ever would be dismantled, a beautiful mess of unconditional love would flood the entirety of my being. I was afraid of the vulnerability that loving you would bring. Afraid of allowing myself to fall freely into the hands of God and letting go of the fear that He would give me someone such as yourself only to take you away from me and render me as a child who had just lost his binky, an unruly infant without comfort in the wee hours of the night. Because somewhere in my heart I didn't believe that God was as good as He said He was, or as good as He says He is, even though my theology taught me different. One of the means of grace that God uses to love on us is community. The very first mention of community, which isn't directly mentioned, is the statement, "Let us make man in our own image." Keyword us. indicating that there was community within the Lord, being one being, yet three distinct persons. What can be easily missed is that if community existed within God, and God is an omniscient God, then he knew when he created man that he would create a helper fit for him. He knew that he would create community for Adam because he knew before he said that it wasn't good for man to be alone. And so he makes what we know to be a woman, a female, an equal counterpart to Adam, who was equally made in God's image because she was included when he said, "Let us make man." Only she could see Adam where he was weak and strengthen him, encourage, correct, and cover him in areas where he was either blind to, limited in, where she or limited in, where she could equally match him pick up and equally pick up his slack. She was equally intelligent, equally powerful, and equally perfect. She lit up his world in areas he never knew were dark until she came along. She became an extension of humanity, an extension of God's grace in providing community. She was a fraction of God's love. This is what you are to me. You are the light in my dark and ugly spaces that God uses to bring them to my attention in ways no one else ever could because I've been so closed off. You helped me to realize that I had become my own anchor that stagnated the intimacy of my relationships with others. I had been my own biggest obstacle. So today is the beginning of me putting an end to that.